What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Sunless Sea, which is one of my favorite games of 2014. Honestly, dead serious. This is probably one of my favorite indie games that's ever been released. On top of that, it's just a great game. A fantastic game. The sort of game where you can sit down and play it for a while and time just disappears. And what's nice about it is it's sort of a brainless game, but at the same time, it does require some interaction and some reading. Like all of the in-between stuff, like when we're sailing, for example. Doesn't require much input from the player, but you know, it's a great game to watch a movie with the girlfriend. Like when you're sitting in the living room and she's watching like whatever her show is on TV and you're like kind of interested in it but not really. You could play this game and it just requires like a little bit of your brain power in order to keep it going while you're exploring and doing all that stuff. And then it's got just enough grit and just enough salt and sand and all that fun stuff to where when you can actually give the game your full attention, it's also fun that way. And so honestly, I really like this game. I highly recommend it. As I understand it, there are whispers on the breeze right now that they're thinking about making an underwater expansion or something like that. Horrors below. Sailors at the rail call softly. Something swims beneath the ship. I saw it looking up at us, one says, his voice a tremble. We can call them away and tell them not to look, or we can shoot it. Let's shoot it. Let's be a badass. No sign of the beast. Empty nets, empty hold, empty house, the lookout says. You glare at him, but the damage is done. But yeah, this is one of those games I highly recommend. I heard they were making a submarine expansion where you're going to be able to dive down below and there's going to be a whole other world underneath, but I don't know how much truth there is to that. It was just kind of something somebody brought up in a conversation. They didn't like link it or reference it or actually give any tangible information about it. They were just talking about having heard about it. We're at the ironmonger, the funging station again. We're trying to get our fung on right now. The Admiralty likes to keep an eye. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get a port report real fast. We can take tea with the factor if we wanted to. We can accept a volunteer as well. Pretty cheap, and I think I will do that. So let's go ahead and accept a volunteer. We got another crew member. One of the company's beleaguered fellers has negotiated an early release from her contract. It's the Sproutling, she tells you, her face pleading. I keep picking them out of me porridge, and me hair, and me eyes. Take me away. I'm a good worker. And so there it is. We will take her away. We'll do her a little favor right there. Do her a solid. So where are we going right now? I kind of want to... Let's go ahead and go sort of southwards. I'm going to kill the lights real fast. Our terror is still alright, so I'm not going to worry about it just yet. It looks like the Uttershroom is a long way to the south. Well, let's go after that then. Why not? The Uttershroom, I think, is where you take this guy to get rid of him. I don't recall, but I think that's where he goes. I don't know. Either way, if we could do his quest right now, that would be utterly fantastic. It would be fantabulous. It would make me very happy. So let's zigzag on by some mushrooms and see if we can find our way to the Uttershroom. Oh, we got a Cane at War Trimarant. Shit. Okay, so we need to go... I think I can lose him around the side of this mushroom right here. Whew! Okay, so he fired a torpedo at us. That could have been like game over for us. So let's not risk that any further. Let's just get the hell on out of here. That was my bad, simply based on the fact that I had my lights on and we ran right into him. Normally, we wouldn't have too much trouble with it. I don't think this is where I'm looking for, actually. I think this is a different location. Let's turn off the battle mode. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is not where we want to go, but I think this is where you pick up... This might be where you get some of those little jellyfish guys. I forget what they're called, the little cat jellyfish hybrids. Either way, we'll go around the outside of the island. Looks like our horror's going up pretty quickly. Ooh, there's a big blue crab over there. Damn. You know you got a problem when not only are crabs big, they're blue. Yikes. They've undergone a color change. They're up in your pubes just evolving. Wow, that got a little bit raspy. That got a little bit nasty for a second. I apologize to you. I apologize. Sometimes my brain goes to nasty places. It is unfortunate, but you know, you got giant crabs around. You got to make crab jokes. It's YouTube. Obviously, you go for the low-hanging fruit whenever it's there. So what are you? Like, how do you benefit me? The Uttershroom, the queenly core of the spore-haunted sea. Climb the fungal fiber ladders to its summit. The suspicious villagers scratch a living here amidst endless clouds of spores and scurrying mobs of plant-animal hybrids. None of them ever leave. Monsters, one explains darkly. Z full of monsters. We can visit the village. We can trade honey. We can gather intelligence. Let's do that. What happens here on top of a mushroom the size of Marlborough? There it is. The villagers live a shabby but sufficient life. The Uttershroom provides. They are secretive, taciturn, and incurious. Ships rarely visit. Okay, well, we can go ahead and trade honey. Or we can go to the village. Let's do that. And so the central contradiction of Shroomer existence. They hate the Uttershroom, but they do anything to avoid leaving. Monsters. Today they're telling the story of how they came here. It features a shipwreck, a rain of orange jewels, the mother's blessing, and then there's a great deal about the adversity and survival. Wistful hints about their homeland and somewhere to the west. Got a memory of distant shores. Cool, I'll take that. Those are useful. They only sell for like 10 echoes, but hey, what's the good of collecting stuff if you're just going to sell it anyways? Sometimes you got to hold on to things for later. Curios! The Uttershroom is some distance to the northeast. The Uttershroom is right here, bruh. I don't know if you realize that. Damn. We're almost out of fuel, so I'm not going to risk it. We could turn around and go to the southeast. I thought I saw something to the southeast, but we're going to have to go back to London first. And I'd really, really, really like to make it to Cuman Canal, because if you can go there first, you can actually land yourself. I think we should be able to make this run pretty easily. We should also route slightly towards the north. Let's go ahead and do so. I'm also going to turn on the lights so that our terror doesn't go up too much higher. It's looking a little bit rowdy. It is going to hurt our fuel supply a little bit, but keeping the lights on, it helps the sailors not go crazy. So if I can avoid having them running around with butter knives and trying to stab each other in the side of the head and all that ridiculous shit, that's what I'm going to do. We've got the King's Hold down here. I'm going to hit this up real fast so that we can get the port report, and then we'll cut really, really hard to the north towards the Shepherd's Isles, I guess. And so the Fathom King's Hold. Never been here very often. This is one of those locations that's actually new on this playthrough. I don't think I've ever been here before. Maybe in the stream I saw it for the first time, but seems like new phenomena to me. New stimuli for my eye holes. Anyways, we'll go to Fathom Kings, then we'll go north. I think being near the shore right here, we should be alright. No, I guess not. It looks like I'm wrong. Well, we'll keep that ticking backwards for right now. We'll swing around this little harbor down here, even though it looks like it's made out of some kind of wet mass. And by and large, I try to avoid contact with wet masses. Lorkensport. Back in Lorkensport we go. And so on this side, we can we'll take the port report first. And while we're in Lorkensport, we can permit shore leave. Let's do it. And so, Captain, I walked the shore at the edge of the coral caps. We gained horror. Oh, that's not good. We already got that one last time, too. I assume something good eventually happens there if we just hang out for a little while. But for right now, it appears as though all the various gods of the Z are conspiring against us. And if they're not conspiring, they're at least like casting, glances at one another, being like, hey, you see what I did to that guy? And so let's be careful here as our terror grows higher and higher. Higher and higher. And then we'll just go all the way up to the north. Well, do I want to go to the Shepherd's Isle? Let's just go to Cuman. I think that we're playing it a little bit close for right now. We should make it back, no problem, but Cuman's going to be the most important. Yeah. Let's go ahead and just make sure that our heading is perfect for right there. We'll hold that down. I think we got more than enough port reports for right now to make a decent amount of money. Once we've got like 500, 600 echoes, that'll allow us to supply up for our next trip, so on and so forth. It should be alright. I don't tend to worry too much in this game because a lot of the threats are kind of like instantaneous. As long as you supply yourself alright, the things that are going to kill you in this game are largely like random, instantaneous, and unavoidable. And so I don't tend to get that irritated about dying unless there's been like a patch that's changed around the way that it works. Since we're sailing through the blackness, I don't have any sea stories. Like, I would tell you guys sea stories right now, but I lived in a landlocked place. The first time I went out on a boat was when I was like 18, and so we don't have water here. We have like creeks. I went out on like a kayak, like a canoe. We used to fish out of the back of a big tin canoe. Well, that's about it. I don't really have any stories, though. Like, we used to go out to Berryessa, I guess, and that's about the only thing there. I mean, that's the biggest body of water around. Ah, shit, we gotta redivert. Hold on. I don't feel like dealing with the mushroom thingy or whatever the hell that is right there. Kind of jellyfish. I think it's already on us. We may not have a choice. It is, however, trying to force us away from our heading. Let's just go for it. It's a gillifloor. We don't really have too many options here, so we might as well take a couple shots at it. It's going to sit there for a minute. Wait, why are we no longer charging? Oh, it's outside of our range. Okay, well, keep shooting at it then. It's going to bog down right there. It's going to hit us. It's going to do some damage. It's going to rinse and repeat. Let's keep the light on it. Oh, Christ. Okay, so somehow it managed to weasel around behind us. Okay, time to go. Unfortunately, it's a lot meaner than we are. So I think I'm just going to focus on getting out of dodge for right now. We should be able to outrun it, no problem. It'll keep its HP low anyways. And if we're really dodgy, we can fight it out of this harbor right here. So we made it to the Canal. We only have 3 fuel left. We don't have much hull left. We'll listen for surface gossip. We got a vision of the surface. This would be a prime spot for a pub or wine shop, but the interests of the Echo Bazaar and the laws of London prevent it. They don't like competition. Still, there are temporary half-legal hostelries and long-moored ships. Here you trade stories with suntanned surface sailors, stories of Paris and Batavia, the lost fires in the final isles. All right, and then we'll get our port report. It is quite perfunctory. I would prefer not to tangle with this thing anymore because it might harm me more than I can actually sustain. I don't think its damage went up by much, but unfortunately, you don't get much out of those either. When you kill them, it kind of just like reverts into this weird gelatinous slop, and all you get out is kind of like this current jelly or something like that that your guys eat. I think it lowers your hunger or something like that. It's not really that big of a deal. On our way back into London, we are going to have to kill the lights, and so our terror is going to get a little bit worse before it gets better. I don't think we'll be stopping at Mutton Island or anywhere like that. At this point, it's actually highly questionable whether we can suffer the terror versus whether we can suffer the fuel. But we got all of our jobs done, so I don't really even mind. We're going back with nothing in hand, but we're also going back victorious. And so sometimes winning and not getting stabbed by a random bald guy with a mustache in the harbor is the victory in and of itself. To Murray's Straits. Doesn't look very straight to me. It looks kind of crooked, but I get what you're saying. Got ourselves what looks like a friendly vehicle over there. I think the ones with the blue on them are friendly. I haven't fired on any of them yet because those are new. Those weren't in the game the last time that I played, but... oh, good. A crab. Just what I always wanted. It appears as though he's kind of aware of us. Sorta. Oh, man. Yeah, he is. He's definitely aware of us. Luckily, he doesn't hurt us that badly, so it's not something to, like, wring our hands over or anything like that. I don't know. The only thing I wring my hands over is jewelry. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so we had an explosion. We pushed the engines too far, too fast, even though they were only on for like a microsecond. We've got a tough challenge here. We lost hull and 1 crew. So now's the time to get up out of here. This is not going to be sustainable. We've actually got to limp our dumbasses back into port, and then once everything's fine, we'll recollect. This is a rough trip. We came back the worse for wear, possibly smoking. I mean, it looks like we've got a boiler, so obviously all the smoke kind of blends together. Which of it comes from our vehicular wounds and which of it comes from our boiler, you can't really tell anymore. Just basically one big fog of smoke coming into port. People are not going to like us if they live near here. They're going to cough, be dicks about it, like, oh my God, why don't you fix your ship? And I'd be like, I would if I had any money, but I'm broke. Also, I'm smoking a pipe right now, so that's contributing to the problem. A breath of relief. The lights of London welcome you home. As soon as the gangplank touches the quayside, the terror is okay. We'll go back down to 50. We have 2 menaces. We have messages from the harbor master. The blind bruiser would like a word. Well, we will give him several. What a propitious and encouraging occasion this is to meet again here in this place, which has been so very fortunate for us both. Allow me to shake you warmly by the hand, since you have demonstrated your unswerving commitment to fair dealing and honest conveyage. Very good. My patron will toast you. We'll accept it. Here is your compensation and a little fuel and a few barrels of biscuits. What a certain other captain is widely surrendered for the common good. I will take the good word to my patron. If I am a man of my word, we will see each other again. Unless a whale eats you, of course, in which case I hope you will not think poorly of me for wishing that we will not. Got 2 supplies, 200 echoes, and 5 fuel. Yeah, we're in the money now. We're getting paid. And so, once more, we find ourselves on the quayside, and on the quayside, what is, I suppose you might say, the lip of the well of opportunities. Let us both drink deeply from this well, by which I mean my patron has a task for you. Take a payment across the ocean and bring back a little package. Of course, let's do it. Here's the money. Don't lose it. We gained 1,000 echoes. So we need to go to Khan's Heart. I know where that is. So now bring the package back here, and it is my hearty recommendation that you avoid the ungentle attentions of the excise. On account of if you return without the package, it is of no interest to my patron whether you have lost or had it taken from you. Good luck. Good luck. If you return to London without an unstamped crate of brilliant souls before completing the task, there's a risk that the blind bruiser will take offense. Okay, well, as long as he takes my fence and not my guts, that's fine. 1,000 echoes on that one. Damn, son. You're getting paid out right now. It's time to drop off, I think, a couple of our port reports. So let's do that. We've got Demo Island, so let's take that. We got 1 fuel for that, so 20 echoes right there. Hunter's Keep, more fuel, things to keep us in business. Mount Palmerston will get 1 and 40. Very nice from right there. Godfall will get 30 and 10. Okay. We got Vetter Blight. We got a lot of fuel, actually. What have the nearly dead been up to? Not a whole lot, but I'll take the fuel. Wither, obviously, we'll take the fuel from there. Nuncio. Ah, yes, the place that lures away postmen. One hears no end of complaints from the Postal Service. There it is. We've got ourselves the Cuman Canal. We don't get any fuel for that. The Chapel of Lights, we get one, though. On this side, we got Avid Horizon, which will allow us to get another fuel and 10 echoes. The Uttershroom, you spent time in the Myceligaea. I don't know how to say that word. Mycegelia or Myceligea or Myceligaya. I don't know. He said he's terribly sorry for us having to go out there, but we got 50 echoes, so that's pretty good. We're starting to make some money. Polythreme. Got ourselves a little bit more. 50 more echoes. Oh my god, this was a very, very, very profitable adventure, wasn't it? We got fuel. We got 30 echoes. All right. Codex. Make a little bit more money and a little bit more fuel. Fathom King's Hold. A little bit more. We got more fuel than we know what to do with right now. I mean, I know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to burn it. And we're going to go places. Khan's Shadow. We got... Oh, we lost Terror. That's nice. We also got 30 echoes. That's pretty cool. I'll take it. Strategic information. Do I give that? Oh, no. I have to take... Okay, so we're all out. It almost tricked me. It almost tricked me. We got to watch out. For right now, my suggestion would be that we deliver the Claymen. That's going to make us 120 echoes right there. One by one, they rise uncomplainingly with no trace of stiffness or discomfort from the long voyage. The deck resounds beneath their heavy tread. A shroom yard manager waits on dock, tapping her foot. About time, she says. Here's your payment. Come along now, you. Hey, there's a good construct. So we got paid a little bit for that. We got a new recruit down here. We've got an irrepressible cannoneer. What does the irrepressible cannoneer do? We've also got the sigil-ridden navigator. I can say that word. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. I think that I need somebody that increases my mirrors. So I'll take that. I'm going to Google their names real fast to make sure that I'm getting the thing that has what I need before we go any further. So it looks like he gives us mirrors. And so that's who we're going to take for right now. 50 echoes to Hiram. Let's take him along. Thank you. Oh my god. The air, the air. It's clearer already. Let me chart a course for you. Oh, my head. Appoint the new officer by dragging him from the officer's tab. Okay, so we got that 50 echoes and we got him. And so now we need to go to our officer's tab. We will take him and we'll put him in our first officer's slot. He's going to give us 6 mirrors, which actually means we don't need to buff ourselves at all. In getting mirrors, we can either put things into pages, which tend to be pretty useful, or we can just put things into mirrors and hope for the best. As of right now, though, we have strategic informations, and so I'm going to use those, and we are going to turn them into a vital intelligence. They thought no one would recognize the pattern. They hadn't counted on you, or me, I guess, I suppose. It's kind of weird to call it, yeah, I don't know, this is odd. Either way, we've got an outlandish artifact. I'm going to use that real fast. What does this do? Not a scientific curiosity, but the scholar has a collection or something. Does he get 5 echoes? This would be so terribly wasted in an ossuary. She buffs the cranium with a sleeve. I think a climbing briar rose will suit this one rather well. A yellow rose, perhaps. Thank you so much. Let's keep this between ourselves. Oh, she's just going to pocket them? Okay, so we'll give those to her. It's not much, but it's something. And so now that we have an outlandish artifact, we also have memories of distant shores. But I think I would rather hold on to those in case I need to trade them for something that I need later on. It's a bad idea to trade in your memories of distant shores, your Z stories, and your tales of terror. Because later on, like I said, somebody's going to tap you on the shoulder and they're going to be like, you need 30 of these, 30 of these, and 30 of these. And you're going to realize that you should have been collecting these the entire game, but you weren't. And so just be careful about it. Just know what you're getting into. The outlandish artifact, I don't think we get paid that much for it. I think we get like 250 maybe. Is it spelled? Okay, so it's spelled the British way. Artifact. There we go. I had to make sure the spelling was correct because I'm going to make sure we only get 100 echoes. And so I'm actually a lot more interested in holding on to it than if... We can make an heirloom if we have 10 of them, which makes me wonder if it's even worth it for us to dump them off here. It does take up a cargo slot, which is a little bit worrisome. We do have a lot of secrets. We could buff some stuff up. Let's go talk to the Admiral. And so if I give him this, what happens? Can I do anything with this right here? Vital intelligence. Is there any way that I can turn this in other places? Because I don't want to be that guy that gives away really, really useful stuff. And so if you have vital intelligence, it looks like we get London supremacy, and we get 350 echoes for doing it. If we take it to a diplomat... I've never had the diplomat, though, so I suppose that's for later on. I guess we'll meet him organically then. I should probably stop Googling things, but either way, I don't know. I just like to know what's out there. Let's go to our lodgings. We'll read the morning's paper. That's going to lower our terror. It's going to give us some news. We'll go to... We can purchase an elegant townhouse if we have 1,000 echoes. Or we can just rest in our... I'm going to rest in my room real fast, and that'll give us a restful night. We'll lose 1 terror. It'll cost us 10 echoes, but it's not that bad. Inside the shops, I do think it's time for us to do some upgrades. If we have a better gun, I think that would be a good idea. There's the Cotterel. We need a new gun. let me buy what I have to have first before we go any further. So I'm going to take supplies up to 15. I don't think I have anything to sell. I don't think the vital intelligence is... Let's just go ahead and give it to the Admiral, I guess. So, I'm glad you brought this to me. I have a colleague of sorts, a diplomat so-called. I will tell you because I trust you. This diplomat will pay better, but I will put the information to better use. He leans forward. There are powers in this world I cannot speak of. There are affairs of the Navy that I'm not proud of. Yeah, tell me about it. Bring me more information like this and we can set matters right. Insert stereotypical Navy joke from any other branch of the military. And so we've got another favor. So we've got 18 right now, and we lost our vital intelligence. Now we can talk with her. We could hold on to our moves in the great game. The Hunter's Eye, I don't really know what that is. My assumption is that, like, when I don't know what something is, but it was hard to get, I usually just take it up north to Wither, and I give it to that antiquarian guy. Or, no, I take it up to Venderblight, because it tends to be, like, one of the colors that he's looking for. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe we'll try that out in just a second. The Outlandish Artifact I'll probably hold on to because it's not worth it to sell it. Moves in the great game. If we can get some more strategic information, we can combine it again and do the exact same thing, and then give it to the voracious diplomat, or we could just sell it right now. So this is the diplomat. The diplomat lairs near Mansion's Pyre in a second-floor office above a gymnasium for pugilistic ladies and gentlemen. Your conversation is punctuated by distant shouts and blows. The diplomat smiles fondly at the sounds. We could pick up an agent, and an agent will allow you to establish an intelligence network and sometimes to grow it later. I have a friend who would be grateful for passage to somewhere else, the Canaan, for example. Okay, let's do it. And so we lost a favor, but now we have one network, a diplomatic agent. Both are probably temporary, but they're all that you'll need. A name and an address. What kind of diplomacy is involved? The kind of diplomacy that doesn't get written down. I'm attached to the Admiralty, not the Foreign Office. London is not what she was, but she still has interests abroad. I look after them as best as I can. I do hope you're patriotic enough not to ask for too many details. Insert bad, poor color taste 1920s joke. There's a joke in there right there, but it's one of those ones that, like, would have worked in 1910, but you're not allowed to tell it anymore. You'd be like, well, damn, there's a lot of those jokes around. And you see them. That's the worst part, is you see them because everybody's into, like, Abbott. If you're into funny stuff, you're into Abbott and Costello and, like, old comedians and things like that because they built the foundation what comedy is now. You kind of got to know. Still, ask about the Admiral. Well, now, the Admiral is a man of principle, very straightforward and very traditional in his views. I think it's rather courageous of him to expect the Navy to operate without outside assistance. He has excellent taste in both chamber music and wine. I hope that makes my feelings clear. Okay, well, if not clear, at least slightly see-through. Is there anything else I can do here? We have our lodgings. We have that right there. I do think that maybe some carousing would be a decent idea. And so there it is. We were fortunate. We lost 5 terror. We got more news, although you can only have 1. We lost another day of free evening, and we got... that wasn't so great. All right, well, whatever. What are you going to... Oh, never mind. There it is right there. A night in the wolf stack you find yourself sharing a table with. A likely lass or a dapper chap. She tipsily claims to be a spy. Whatever she is, she's easy to like. And when the evening ends, you're still together. Okay, or we can say... You can just, like, forget about him instantly. We'll just go with her, I guess. The next morning, she gives you a pewter locket. As you reach for it, she grips it briefly in her fist. Don't you dare forget me, she says. Okay, so we got 3 terror right there. All right, cool. I won't forget you because I took pictures. To the internet! Nope, I'm not that kind of person. Nope, that joke was in poor taste. Never mind! Let's continue forward. I'm going to buy... What does that one do? It does 28 hull damage. That one does 12 life damage. The Winnower. Oh, it fires torpedoes. I don't know if I want that or not. We've also got the Britomart Flensing Cannon, which does more damage to life, but less damage to hull. Fires pretty quickly, too. I think we'll probably just go with this one right here. How does that differ from what we already have? Oh, we do 8 damage, and that one does 12. Okay. Do we have space for an aft weapon? Is that a thing that we even have? Okay, so our ship isn't big enough. What about in the shipyard? What can we buy out here? Looks like we can get a Legaia. We already have the Beatrice. What's up next? We've got a Lampid-class cutter. Cramped and fragile. What does it have? 50 hull, hull capacity 30. Is it fast or something? Like, doesn't seem like it's that good. Gives you a Bales and Mirrors bonus, so I guess it's an espionage ship? Okay. I'd say that the Corvette is probably the next most logical place to go. They have 200 hull, 40 hull capacity, 2,000 weight, which means it's slower, 15 quarters, an irons bonus. It's got a forward and auxiliary. It still doesn't have an aft gun, though. Does that one have an aft gun? Okay, that one has an aft gun. A Maynard class frigate. Oh my god, you can get some big ass ships, can't you? I say that the Corvette is probably the next place we're going to go. If you don't know what a Corvette is, essentially it's like a tackler ship. Corvettes are kind of like a smaller warship. They're not that big. Like, Corvette-class ships are bigger than, like, smaller, I guess. Are they bigger than a destroyer or smaller than a destroyer? I can't remember. Either way, a Corvette is a pretty small battleship. Anyways, I'll see y'all in the next episode. We're out of time. My name is Splattercat. This is Sunless Sea. I will see you all next time. Hi, do everybody.